On October 1st, 2020, 25-year-old Whitney Hostler went missing. Whitney, her 2-year-old daughter, and her boyfriend Randy Ryder had been living with Randy's parents, Valerie and Rodney Ryder, for almost 2 years. Randy was the first to contact police and tell them that his girlfriend had gone missing. Their child was still at home being cared for by Randy's parents. After receiving the call, the police went to the Ryder home to conduct initial interviews. When they arrived, they noticed trash bags wrapped in duct tape in the back of Rodney's truck. A closer look revealed a large amount of blonde hair stuck to some of the duct tape. They also noticed a 2-wheel dolly and some green gloves covered in dirt. Rodney and his wife Valerie told the police that they had been cleaning and that a member of their family had a medical issue that caused her hair to shed. When they were asked when was the last time they saw Whitney, they claimed she left with an unknown male after getting into an argument with them. The police thought it was strange that Whitney left her daughter behind and was not answering any phone calls. Whitney's boyfriend Randy and his parents Rodney and Valerie agreed to come down to the police department for an interview. Randy is first. He explains that the last time he saw Whitney, she had found out he got another woman pregnant and she was planning on taking her baby and leaving.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe and wait to the end to hear my full reaction.
I heard Whitney, I was in the living room, and I heard Whitney in my room in the very back, like answer the phone and say, telling Erin, because she was trying to keep her in the room, and saying like, but we won't ever see her, and that she was taking me to court for child support and all that, just, you know, ranting on. And
so you just heard her talking on the phone?
Yeah, like she said that they were leaving, and I wasn't trying to cause this problem, so I was just going to let them go.
So when you heard her on the phone, it sounded like she was talking to the baby?
Yeah, because she was trying to keep her in the room with her, away from all of us, just trying to be spiteful. Like she purposely yelled out, we're going to Uncle Elgin's, so that I would hear, to know that they were leaving. Because Eliza's pregnant. Mm-hmm. So I told her, you know, as soon as Whitney finds out, they're going to leave. And she's been trying to get a Section 8 housing in Xenia.
Whitney, yes.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
She's been working on this for like 6 months. And so I guess what Elgin just told me before we came here was that he thought she was supposed to move into it tomorrow. And he was giving her all of his old furniture and stuff. I had told my mom, I was like, I'm pretty sure they're leaving, is what I said. And she said, when? And I said, like, now, basically, like, here in a little bit.
Okay.
I said, Elgin's going to come get them and take them to her mom's. And my mom just, okay, got off the phone with whoever she was talking to about the doctor. Mm-hmm. She went back there to talk to her like, you know, they usually would, because Whitney listens to them more. Basically arguing, saying that Whitney's saying that she hates our family and that we're disgusting and that we're not a family and that she doesn't want Erin around us. Knowing that my parents have done everything they can for her, and I've done everything I can for her, and it's never been good enough for the last 10 years.
So Dad's upset with you. Would you say that he was desperate to keep Whitney from leaving?
Yes.
Okay. So.
And that's basically what those other little conversations before work was. He'd pour his heart out, make her feel bad for him, and she would. And because she knew, like, if she took her away, that would probably kill my dad.
So what happened after Dad told you this?
After that, though.
You didn't see Whitney after that?
I've never seen Whitney. I have not seen her since they walked back there. But
what did you do after that?
Well, I was in the living room because Whitney had actually come out of the room with Erin. Mm-hmm. My mom told her that she needed to talk to her. I heard that.
So you saw her come out of the room?
Yeah. And she allowed Erin to come into the living room with me while they talked. But all I could hear for about 5 minutes at least was the screaming and yelling in the room, like, and some crying and stuff, but like it was more like getting worked up, crying, not like fighting or nothing.
So they talked some more in the hallway or in the kitchen?
In the room.
Okay, so she went back into the room?
And like I said, it was like they were just going back and forth. My mom trying to calm her down, telling her why she should stay and why she shouldn't leave because of what could happen to my dad. I know that's how it went.
Whitney in the bedroom with mom talking. What happened after that?
That's where it got a little different. It's because
It got what?
it got different.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Because me and my dad just went from arguing, like I've seen my dad flip before, like change his attitude, but he went from angry with me to about 5 minutes of being gone. He came back out. The first thing he did, I was sitting on the floor with Erin just talking to her, and he grabbed me by my wrist. He pulled me up. He said, "You need to go home now." He's like, "You need to go now." And I'm like, "Why? What's going on? You guys just can't tell me." He said, you just need to fucking trust me." He's like, "You just need to go now." By this time, he'd probably got me all the way up to the door to get my shoes on. And I barely got my shoes on. And he was so panicked, he just kept repeating himself. And then my mom come out, and I kept trying to go back to see what was going on because there's the way they switched their attitudes. My dad went from really angry at me to really concerned. Not really concerned for me, but he looked like he just walked in and seen something that he probably never thought he'd ever seen, which is what initially worried me that something happened to her. And my dad was still freaking out, standing right next to her, freaking out, telling me like I had to leave. Like I needed, literally word for word, told me, "You need to leave for a few days and make sure everyone knows where you're at." In my head, I took it as I needed like an alibi.
I find it really strange through all of this. He never once asked his dad what's going on or why his dad is saying the things that he's saying.
Or something. It was like I knew he had seen something or something had happened. But when he said I didn't do anything, I believed him.
Did you guys, did you ever go back to the bedroom, or what did you do?
They pushed me out of the house. I literally got pushed out of the front door. The door was shut and locked behind me.
Randy's parents were retired, and they had become very attached to Whitney's new baby. The couple spent every waking moment caring for the baby because Whitney was going through postpartum depression. When Whitney found out her child's father had cheated on her, she told them she was moving out. Valerie and Rodney did not want to see their granddaughter go, so they went into Whitney's room to try and convince her to stay. Randy claims that he heard yelling, and then his father came out of the room and demanded he leave their home. Randy did as he was told, but after failing to reach Whitney for several hours, he called the police. After interviewing Randy, the detective decided his father, Rodney, was next.
And then I got a defibrillator in my chest right here that the 2-year-old likes to push on.
You've been through the ringer a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. 2-year-olds do things like that.
She loves me to death, and I love her to death. Her mommy and daddy fighting and arguing all the time. I'm just trying to keep her from I can.
So you went to the bathroom, used the restroom?
Yeah, and I could hear my wife and Whitney talking. They went in the bedroom talking, and I come out, went in the living room where Randy was with the baby. I'm not gonna lie to you, I told him we got into it and we wound up nose to nose, and I told him if anything happened to that 2-year-old little girl over this, that I was gonna put a bullet in his head.
Okay. So what happened then?
He got mad at me. He says, "That's just great, Dad. Just like always, stick up for me, whatever, or something." Randy, I've never been able to do anything good enough for Randy, even though I've done everything I can for him.
So what happened then?
My wife come in and told me to come in there. I went in there, and her and Whitney were in the bedroom. She had Whitney calm down. Whitney said, "You need to make Randy leave so I can decide what I'm gonna do, whether I'm gonna take the baby and leave now or not, or whatever." So I went in and told him, "Get your shoes on, get out of here. Don't come back for a couple days. You've got your other girlfriend and everything." I've told him and her both when the baby was only 6, 8 months old, and they were fighting that, and she talked about leaving then. I told her, you don't have to be with my son to stay here. This is my granddaughter as much as it is your daughter. You can stay here, and he can sleep out on the couch or something if he needs a place to sleep. Other than that, he can move and go anywhere he wants.
What happened after that?
I played with the baby for a little bit, and she started fussing, wanting a wife, and I got her to lay down and take a nap. We laid down, he laid down and went back to sleep.
His fidgeting and body posture says a lot. Like, he's definitely got more to say than he's letting on.
Remember about what time that was?
11:30.
So when did you wake up?
2 o'clock. Got up and changed the baby's diaper.
Where was Whitney then? Was she still in the bedroom or something else?
She was gone.
Do you know where she went?
My wife said somebody in the car picked her up.
Who told you that? I'm sorry.
My wife.
Rodney claims that Whitney told him she wouldn't leave if he kicked Randy out of his house. Rodney told Randy to leave and then took a nap with the baby. When he woke up, his wife told him Whitney left alone with an unknown male.
Yeah, I think you're probably a big-hearted grandpa that loves that little girl more than life itself. And I think...
With everything that I've had to deal with my doctors putting me on disability and everything, that little girl has been a godsend for me sometimes.
I believe you honestly would do anything in your power to protect her. You know, Rodney, I think you know, in your heart you're a good man, and I think you want to do the right thing, and I think you want to protect that little granddaughter of yours more than life itself, because she means the world to you, and I get that, I understand that. I mean, she rejuvenated you when you were at a pretty low time, and I think that as a father, as a grandfather, not only for all just your other grandkids, but, you know, Erilyn right now, because she's kind of in a vulnerable position with what could be going on, and you want to make sure she's safeguarded. I think that sometimes good people have things that aren't so good happen, and they don't mean for them to happen that way. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think you know what happened to Whitney. In fact, I think when you woke up, I think you knew where Whitney was. What happened to Whitney?
I don't know.
What Rodney doesn't know is that Whitney's body was found just off a main road, a few towns over. It appeared that Whitney had died from strangulation, and someone had placed a garbage bag over her head and dumped her body down a hill. The detective will now show Rodney pictures of Whitney's body, hoping it will get him to confess.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't think anybody meant for this to happen.
Notice that he's very uncomfortable by the photo, but he never once says, like, oh my goodness, what happened to her?
Would I be right when I said that? Did things get out of control?
I don't know. Apparently, got out of control with somebody.
Do you see those marks? Those are hand marks, Rodney. And with those hand marks comes DNA. And underneath fingernails comes DNA. And off clothing comes DNA. Was this an accident, or was this something that was intentional? Because I think maybe things got out of hand.
Who done it?
I think you know who did it.
No, I don't. I swear. I didn't do it. I swear I've never laid a hand on her.
Did Valerie do it?
I don't know.
Okay, when you were in there with Valerie, and Valerie was in there, and she called you in. Did Valerie do this?
I didn't do anything to Whitney.
You didn't touch Whitney?
I haven't touched Whitney. If you got my DNA,
did you kill Whitney?
No, sir, I did not kill Whitney.
Did you help someone move Whitney after she was killed?
No, sir, I did not.
Honestly, Rodney, sir, I think you do know. I think you do know. I think you know in your heart, and I think you know that I know. And like I said, I don't think you're a bad man. I don't. I think you got a lot of love in your heart. And I think that things got out of control yesterday. And I think that emotions were high, and however that happened, it happened before you knew it. And it's not what you intended to happen.
And if I tell you that my wife did do this and I helped her and everything, what do you think's gonna happen to that little girl?
Is that what happened? Because I can't see you saying that unless that's what happened. Randy did not do this. Rodney Jr. did not do this.
No, my sons didn't do this.
You and your wife did this, or your wife did this and you helped her take Whitney out off Kaiser Lake Road and put her down by the lake. That's what happened, isn't it?
Yes.
Who strangled Whitney?
My wife.
Did you see this happening?
No.
What did she say when you came in and you found Whitney?
I don't know.
Rodney, we know. We know what happened. And thank you for being honest.
I don't remember what she said.
What did you say to Valerie when you walked in and saw
No.
Oh, that's what you said? It was no.
Yeah, no.
So then what did you do? What did you and Valerie do with Whitney at that point?
Valerie put her in a trash bag.
You put her in a trash bag?
Valerie put her in a trash bag.
Okay.
I couldn't do it.
Did you guys use duct tape?
Yeah, she did.
Okay. And then what did you do? What did you two do? After you stuck her in the green duffel bag, what did you do?
She drug her down the hall to the back door. I pulled the truck around to the back of the house, put the tailgate down, and put her in the bed of the truck.
Okay, and then where did you go?
All over the place.
Did you drive all over the place with Whitney in the bed of the truck?
So did you actually drive her down to Buck Creek to CJ Brown Reservoir and look for a spot there?
Yeah.
Couldn't find anything that you liked there or that Valerie liked there?
Couldn't find any place secluded. Every
Okay.
time we try and do something, somebody come around the corner in a car.
Okay.
Did you guys drag her out of the bed of the truck and across, there was some logs there? Was she face down when you pulled her out?
I don't know, honestly.
Or did you pull her out or did Val pull her out?
Valerie pulled her out.
Who took her down to the bottom of the hill?
Valerie,
And what were you doing as you drug her down to the bottom of the hill?
sitting in the truck yelling at her to come on because we'd spent too much time there. I don't lie very well. I don't like to lie. I try and lie. At that point in time, I wanted to go in the house with a beautiful blue-eyed, blonde-haired, 2-year-old little girl that thinks the world of me, and lay down and cuddle up with her and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And that's all I want to do now.
I understand.
Rodney explains that his wife was arguing with Whitney in her room, trying to get her to stay. Rodney waited until the yelling stopped, then entered the room. Inside, he found Whitney's body lying on her bed and his wife pacing the floor. Rodney claims that he helped Valerie dispose of the body because his only goal.
How did the conversation go so far left about staying with them because they wanted the granddaughter there that Valerie found the need to take this woman's life? Is crazy to me.
Goal was to protect his granddaughter. With this new information, the detectives interview Valerie next to see if they can get her to confess as well.
I was trying to calm her down so that she would stay and talk to us and everything.
So you
because
had-
whatever he's doing, that
You had Rodney come into the room. Why'd you have Rodney come in?
Because I was telling him she wanted Randy to leave.
Okay.
You know, she was willing to calm down, she was willing to talk to us and everything, especially about the baby and stuff, but she wanted Randy to leave.
So you're in the room, and you say you call Rodney in there.
Yeah.
And what did you tell him?
I told him that she, willing to talk, she's willing to stay and finish her packing and everything, as long as he leaves.
So you're in a bad mood, you're mad, you're telling Randy get the hell out, it's causing a problem.
Yeah.
Did he go?
Yeah, he got his
happened?
uniform or whatever, and
What happened after that?
she was in the bedroom, I went back in, told her that he had left, because I even went down and checked. I stepped down into the living room, and the car was gone.
So after that, what additional contact did you have with Whitney?
She was going back and forth from the room into the kitchen, and I think I went to the bathroom, and what was she doing? She was sitting there on her phone again.
Where?
On the bed. She was sitting on her...
So she's back in the bedroom?
She went back in the bedroom, and she was sitting there on her phone again. And she's sitting there, and I just come out of the bathroom, and she's like, I do not freaking believe him. I was like, that sentence is said so many times when it pertains to Randy.
What was it about?
I don't know. I think she was on Facebook or something, because she didn't even say anything to me.
Everything Valerie is telling the detective is a lie, but he lets her continue digging her own grave. Eventually, the detective decides it's time to confront her and tell her he knows the truth.
I was in the...
Here's the thing, okay? I'm going to be straight up with you. I'm a straight arrow, he'll tell you that. I'm not much of a bullshitter, so I'm going to be straight with you. I know, you're here for a reason tonight.
Yeah.
It isn't just a whim that we decide to drag you out of bed, okay? Our guys are there doing a search warrant at your house right now.
Right.
Okay? I know that she didn't get in a car and the end of your driveway. You look at me, yeah.
Yeah, we know she wasn't picked up by a burgundy car. What happened to Whitney, Valerie?
She did.
She's trying to play confused, but you could tell by how her voice raised in pitch, her body language, everything says that she's guilty.
No, she did not.
Valerie, there are bad people in this world, and then there are good people in this world. That sometimes things get out of control, and bad things happen. Not intentionally, not by any prior calculation, but sometimes things just get out of hand.
Here's the thing. I know she didn't get in a burgundy car or a maroon car in your driveway, or at the end of your driveway. I'm telling you. I'm a straight shooter. I'm not going to bullshit you. It didn't happen.
What happened to Whitney, Valerie?
I do not know.
We didn't just talk to you. We've also talked to your husband. What happened to Whitney? We know what happened to Whitney. Do you see these marks? Those are fingerprints. Do you know what we can get from fingerprints? First of all, we can take fingerprints off human skin, and we're working on that right now. We can get DNA off human skin and off clothing.
That is not her.
I know, that is her. That is her. That is Whitney. That is Whitney. Whitney's laying dead at the bottom of a goddamn ravine.
What happened to Whitney? Do you think that I spent my entire day sitting there with my thumb in my ass, tracking every spot where you said you were at, checking for cameras, looking at cameras? I'm not stupid. Don't treat me like I'm stupid. It's time to tell the truth.
I think we know what happened. We know where it happened. What we're trying to understand, Valerie, is the why. Why did it happen? Will you please tell me why it happened? I want to understand what you're saying.
No, what did you say?
I said if it wasn't unintentional, was it on purpose?
No. No.
Was it an accident?
Yeah.
Okay, how did the accident happen?
She pushed me, she shoved me back into the door because I asked her to leave the baby with us.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had her 24/7.
We understand.
For 2.5 years.
Yeah, we understand that.
She said no, she said she's taking her. Yeah, she did. She said we weren't gonna see her anymore, especially since Randy got the other one pregnant.
Right.
She shoved me into the door. She hit me because I kept telling her. We have been taking care of her. She doesn't like to go anywhere else. She just kept screaming. She didn't care. She was hers. She wasn't giving her up. She hasn't taken care of her at all. I mean,
So,
I'll take responsibility. It was me.
well, we
I mean,
know that.
This lady's demeanor is disgusting. She has no remorse whatsoever. She's more annoyed and frustrated at the fact that they're asking her questions about the murder of her son's girlfriend, her grandchild's mother.
But explain what happened. She shoved you back.
She had the stuff. She was packing the stuff and everything, and she tried to get out. She was going for the baby. She said she was going to get the baby.
Did you grab her from the front or from the rear? How did
I don't remember my hands.
She struggle with you?
Yeah, because I had let go of her at one time, and then that's when she started screaming that she was going to call the police, that, she was going to take her, we were never going to see her again, and all this shit.
So then what happened?
I put my arm around her and it went up because she had moved and she tried to get me off and everything. And that was, I must have squeezed too hard or something because I heard her, I don't know, it wasn't a gag or cough or whatever. It was just like I don't even know.
It wasn't what would you would consider a natural sound, right?
Yeah, it was like almost like a growl or something.
Okay.
So how long did you hold her this way? 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
No. It was probably about a minute, if that. And that's when I realized
You realized what?
that she was not breathing.
So what did you do then? Did you check for pulse, administer aid?
I was sitting there shaking at first because I was freaking out, and
And where's Rodney Sr. during this time?
he was in the bedroom with the baby.
Asleep? Or awake?
I think he was asleep and I went and woke him up.
So she's in the bedroom
Yeah,
and you went and woke him up.
because I tried shaking her and everything, and
Did you call 911 and ask for help?
I was freaking out. I had grabbed her. I did that, so
What point did you put the plastic bag over her head and secure it with the duct tape?
Valerie explains how she wrapped the body in trash bags and duct tape while her husband and granddaughter were sleeping in the other room. The detectives want to make sure that her husband was not involved in the murder itself, so they ask Valerie about his reaction.
We know you went in and woke up Rodney. What was his reaction?
he was freaked. He actually almost passed out.
What did he say when he saw Whitney?
He's like, "What did you do? What happened?"
What did you tell him?
I told him. I said she started screaming at me, tried to get past me. She was going for the baby. She was leaving.
Did Rodney check her for signs of life?
I don't.
Did he check her for a pulse or anything? Did you remember?
I don't.
how did you get her out of the bedroom?
I drug her out.
Okay.
Did you put her in something?
I put her in the bag,
What
the green bag.
Okay. And then what?
Had him pull the truck around
Around.
to the back
Okay.
so that I could put it.
How'd you get her into the back?
I picked her up.
You did? How much does she weigh?
100 pounds.
So you picked her up, put her in the back? Still in the duffel bag, or the bag? Was this your idea, or was it his idea to move the body?
It was mine. It was mine.
So
He was
what time?
out of it.
So whose idea was it to dump her down the ravine?
Mine.
How did you get her out of the back? Did Rodney help you do that?
I just pulled her out. I went down.
So you shove her over into the ravine. How far did she go?
Maybe halfway.
So you climbed down there?
I had to go down.
That's a hell of a steep ravine. Did you have any trouble getting down there?
Down, no, up. Yeah, it was my fault. I should have stayed away from her because
You told who?
Rodney.
Okay. It was your fault. You should have stayed away from her. What?
I told him I was sorry.
All right.
I mean, basically, it's like, she is our grandchild, but when you've been taking care of her literally since she was born, it's like someone taking your child away.
Well,
Despite confessing to the murder, Valerie would later claim in court that her son Randy was the one who killed Whitney. Randy was given a lie detector test, which he easily passed. In the end, Valerie was found guilty of murder, felonious assault, and tampering with evidence. She was sentenced to 21 years to life in prison. Her husband Rodney pled guilty to obstructing justice and tampering with evidence, and he received a 3-year sentence. Rodney was released from prison on March 28, 2023. What are your thoughts on this case? Should Rodney and Valerie have been given more or less time? Please share your thoughts in the comments below.
This story is just unbelievable to me. Valerie had a sense of entitlement. She felt like the child had become hers and it wasn't just her grandchild, it was her actual child. I feel like she was harboring feelings towards the girlfriend, to Whitney, for a long time. It had to be, because you don't just flip a switch and get so angry with a person that you kill them over a minor back and forth of whether or not you're going to have the baby stay or have Whitney stay. I feel like this is something that was almost premeditated. She had these feelings. She felt like by any means necessary that baby was going to stay. I feel sorry for the baby. She lost her grandmother. She temporarily lost her granddad, and I'm sure, he won't be able to be around her either. And most importantly, she lost her mother. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment, like the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And as always, stay safe.